Today, I want to invite you to take a look at the conclusion of Paul's second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 13, verses 11 to 13. This is Paul's final greetings and benediction to the church. And our verse of the day is verse 11, where Paul writes, "Finally, brothers and sisters, farewell. Put things in order. Listen to my appeal. Agree with one another. Live in peace, and the God of love and peace will be with you." Live in peace, and the God of love and peace will be with you. Paul's relationship with the church in Corinth was a little rocky at times. The church in Corinth, there was division with different groups following or aligning themselves with different leaders. And so there were these factions, and there was also the dynamic of Paul felt in the church there that people were a little too puffed up with how much they knew. They were puffed up with knowledge, or they thought a little highly of themselves if they spoke in tongues and elevated themselves over other believers who didn't speak in tongues, which is a prayer language and which needs someone to interpret it when it takes place. So there were rumblings and grumblings in the church in Corinth. And as we read Paul's letters, we see part of what he's trying to do is to unify the church back around Christ, who was the one who died for everyone. No other leader had done that. And around the one Spirit that united them. And so when Paul says at the very end of those two letters, agree with one another and live in peace, that's part of why. And in any church, in any family, right, there can be times when individuals disagree. And we may not be able to agree on every single thing necessarily. And even very committed, mature believers in Jesus Christ can have different interpretations of things in the Bible, can have different views of issues in our current events and in our time. But even when we can't fully agree, Paul admonishes us, live in peace. That's what we should be striving to do as followers of Christ. And because when we live in peace, Paul says, the God of love and peace will be with you. You can make the argument that love and peace are two of the most important words in the entire Bible. And they are both things which God desires for you and for me as individuals, what God desires for the church and for the world as a whole. So I pray if you have someone that you know you're not in agreement with, that you would seek to live peaceably, to seek to try to come to a greater understanding. And if you can't come to an agreement, at least to feeling like you've heard one another out and that you feel understood and the other person does too. Live in peace, and the God of love and peace will be with you.